Okay, so best blades 2024. Now this is a category for the real purist, the elite ball striker, and maybe the more traditional golfer, if I'm honest. And I'm really excited about this. I've got 11 of the best blades that I've tested over the last few weeks. And I'm going to put them through their paces, and I'm going to talk about their looks, their feel, their overall performance, and stay to the very end where I'm going to crown my best blade of 2024. So looks. Now, of all the iron categories that I'm looking at this year, looks might be the most pertinent in this blade category. The best blades tend to follow a really established blueprint of minimal offset, thin top lines, and the shaping can really make or break whether a blade looks great or not. So I've picked out 3 of my favorites. Let's take a look. The Mizuno Pro 241. So it won't be a surprise to anyone, I wouldn't think. My first choice in the looks category for best blades is the Mizuno Pro 241. It's just a really stunningly crafted Mizuno iron, and they do a great job. They always have, so this shouldn't come as any surprise to anyone. The branding is minimal. I love how they've not bothered to put the paint fill in the Mizuno logo there. I just think that gives it a really premium, sort of minimalist look. And from a shelf appeal point of view, sat in your bag, these are just absolutely stunning. The only reason it probably hasn't won this overall category for me, and this is just a me thing more than a Mizuno thing, down by the ball, just the head profiles of Mizuno irons have never quite fitted my eye. They just lack a bit of the symmetry of some of the other models. But like I said, that's a me thing, and some Mizuno purists out there will be banging their head against the sofa hearing that, but that's just what I think. But like I said, from a shelf appeal and sitting in the bag point of view, it just doesn't get any better than this. The Ping Blueprint T. Right, maybe not one for the complete purist and traditionalist, but I've got the Ping Blueprint T here. And to my eye, again, it's a more modern blade, if you like. It's a modern take on the traditional blade. So hasn't got the harsh, very bright chrome that a lot of the blades have. And this little notch is a little bit off-putting for some, but the overall look of the head, it's so clean on the back here, really minimalist, and the shaping is just stunning. Ping this year, they've increased the height of the heel, transition into the hosel here, and down behind the ball, it just frames it so well. They're intimidatingly small, they are quite tight from heel to toe, and the top line is basically non-existent, and there's no offset whatsoever. So from a traditional down by the ball look, it's there. A little bit more of a modern take on the back, but I like something a bit different, so that's why it's in there. The Wilson Staff Model Blade. So this is a bit of an emotive pick for me. There's something about picking up this set of Wilson Staff Model blades conjures up images of the 62 major victories, slightly longer ferrules, the little fluted bit on the hosel here, a really sort of a trip back in time, if you like, and I really like that sort of nostalgia element to these irons, but that's probably not doing it justice. Overall, they've added a bit more modern branding with some more modern fonts and changed the badge up a little bit. So they just look super cool in the bag. Down by the ball, really classic profile. They've got slightly longer heel to toe than some of the others that I'd pick in this category, but a really thin top line, minimal offset, and a really classic look. I love the more traditional feel of this and what it conjures up. Like I said, a bit of an emotional pick for me, this one. Titleist 620 MB. From a looks point of view for me, this was the absolute standout. And when I talk about looks, especially in the blade category, I'm not just talking about this, it's kind of two-dimensional. I'm not just talking about sat in the bag, and I'm not just talking about how it looks down behind the ball. It's a combination of those, and this has absolutely everything. Behind the ball, so clean. All we've got on the back here is just a really nice, plain, simple Titleist, and then the beautiful chrome just does the rest of the talking for it. Really unfussy, really clean, and exactly what you'd want. Coupled with that, down behind the ball, I just cannot fault the shape of the head. Such a square leading edge, no sort of chamfering, no offset, no onset, just perfectly lined up. Top edge is really thin, and the head shapes just throughout the set, even from pitching wedge all the way up to the longer irons. The dimensions are just great, they frame the ball perfectly. So for those reasons, this is my best looking blade of 2024. So feel is a super important category for blades here. There's just really no compromise. They've got to feel buttery soft, and they've got to provide maximum feedback so you know exactly where you're striking them. There are nuances within that, however, and they can feel slightly different. So I'm going to take a look at those, and I've picked out a few of my favorites. Right, but before we get to that, if you do enjoy this video, please do hit the like button and comment down below what's your favorite blade of 2024. I'd be really interested to hear it. And please subscribe to the channel so you can see all of our upcoming videos. The Cobra King MB. Okay, so these were a real surprise to me because I hadn't really gotten much into Cobra blades before now. But where the first strike really got me, super soft, one of the softest probably of the bunch, and the feedback's really good. So I'm just going to hit one away just so you can get a feeling for the audio and see if you can pick it up. Yeah, so as if that was really nicely struck, and on the centered hits you can barely feel it off the face. It's super soft. I will say you certainly know when you've missed the middle, which is absolutely fine because that's what you want in this category. But overall, this is a great feeling iron. The Mizuno Pro 241. So Mizuno fans, relax. It's in here. The Pro 241, years of forging experience, and you can absolutely tell it just feels fantastic. Super smooth. It's got a lovely sort of profile of soft, smooth, but solid, all at the same time, and I think that's really to do with the exquisite forging process that goes into these irons. So again, let me just hit one away and see if you can pick it up in terms of sound. Just slightly, yeah, it's slightly more nuanced than the Cobra. It has got that softness, but maybe not quite as much. There's just a little bit more depth, a little more solidity to that strike, which I really like. And it was very close to winning this category, but it didn't because of the Takomo 301 MB. Now this might be a surprise to some people, and some of you might not have even heard of Takomo. They're a direct-to-consumer brand. They've been around a little while now, and they're starting to get some tour traction with players like Wesley Bryan from the Bryan Brothers, who plays on the PGA Tour. He's got these in the bag, or a combo of these and the CBs. And I was just so surprised by the performance when I got them. To take on some of the more established blades and, in my opinion, come out on top in terms of feel is pretty remarkable. They're super soft. Again, the ball, when you hit it, just sort of melts into the face, and it's just a joyful impact, really. Like the rest of them, again, off-center, you do know about that, but I would want that in a blade. If I'm taking a blade, I want the feedback of where my strike is. So that's another plus point. The narrow soles and the slight grinding of the leading edge, just a pre-worn leading edge, help it slip through the turf. And I just want you to experience the sound with me, the sound and the feel. So I'm just going to clip one away. So just, again, it's just so nice. That was a little bit towards the toe, a couple of mil towards the toe. So it wasn't totally flush, but that absorbed it quite well. I think just because the softness of this material, the softness of the forging, it's just something really special about this iron, and I really like it. So that's why it's won the best feeling blade of 2024. It's all very well making a beautiful looking, sounding and feeling blade, but it still has to perform right. So it's probably a good time to pop up some data on the screen so you can see the numbers that I got during my testing. Now there's a lot to take in there in terms of data, so if you need to pause the video, feel free to, and then come back to me. But once you have, let's take a look at some of my favorites that I've picked out. The PXG ST milled blades. So the first mention in the performance category was a little bit of a surprise to me. And if you look at the data table, it was a little bit shorter on carry than some of the other irons that I've tested, but that's not what you enter the blade market for. You enter the blade market for that consistency, the workability, all those things that come along with the blade. And this PXG blade provided that in abundance. There was a real consistency of flight and a really tight dispersion that I absolutely loved about these irons, and that's why this is mentioned in that performance category. The Vega Mizar Pro. So my second mention in performance is something of a niche product. So it won't suit everyone this, but I wanted to mention it because I think it's a really nice option in the blade category. Traditionally, in 7-iron, we're looking around 34, 35 degrees of loft in the blade category, but this comes in at 32. So instead of having to bend your iron strong if you're a high ball hitter in blade, which increases offset and reduces bounce and things like that, the Vega Mizar Pro comes strong lofted. So you get all the benefits of the blade in terms of the lovely feel, the lovely look and the feedback, but you still get a much more penetrating ball strike and ball flight rather. So for me, I think it's a really nice option. I don't know why more manufacturers aren't offering some stronger lofts to counteract that. Vega have done it, so if you are someone who wants to play blades and you want a more penetrating ball flight because you pop the rest up, then the Mizar Pro might be the one for you. The Ping Blueprint T. So the reason I've picked the Ping Blueprint T for performance is it's just a really high performing iron across all of the data categories. Good ball speed numbers, good levels of spin, good peak height. It just did exactly what I wanted it to do. But again, the unquantifiables, the immeasurables that don't come up on launch monitor like workability and trajectory control, the Ping allowed me to do anything I wanted to do with it. It's got such little offset so you can manipulate that leading edge to create any sort of ball flight that you want. This is a really superb performing blade. Okay, so the time has come to name my best blade of 2024. I've got it here in my hand. It might be a surprise to you, it was certainly a surprise to me, but the winner is the Takomo 301 MB. I've already alluded to the feel by naming it the best feeling blade of 2024, which I thought was super impressive, but its raw data numbers were fantastic. It was very competitive with everything else, if not better. The immeasurable stuff such as shot shaping, trajectory control was also there. You get into the aesthetics, it's just super clean, so minimal, and it just really suits my eye. The head shapes from 4-iron all the way down to the pitching wedge were just absolutely spot on. And one other point that you have to note is a direct-to-consumer brand. 4 to pitching wedge set comes in nearly half the price of some of the other major manufacturers. So when you've got a great looking blade that feels as good or better and performs as well and is nearly half the price, what's not to like? And that's why the Takomo 301 MB is my best blade of 2024.